Elizabeth needs some classmates to join the Big Sister Little Sister program. One of the little girls loves sports, which means we reach into our bag of one-book-only characters and pull out Shelley Novak, dedicated basketball star. Wait, no, that's not right. Shelley's the sports girl from book 55. Go away, Shelley! You're too early!
Argofont Book Review, Argofont Book Review.
No, our heroine today is Kristin Thompson, tennis star. She practices all the time, as in she does her homework during lunch so she can have an extra hour of practice each day. She's gearing up for a big tournament. If she wins, she'll become a professional tennis player, and all of her dreams will come true. Yep, she's right on track to have a perfect life. Naturally, that's when Elizabeth interrupts and ruins everything. Thanks, Liz. Elizabeth asks if Kristin will work with Emily, a girl whose mother just died. Kristin's mother died on her way to a tennis tournament, so now Kristin gets a huge guilt trip. She starts drowning in a sea of pressure from herself, her dad, and her coach. If she doesn't win, she'll ruin her life and disappoint everyone. Again, thanks, Liz. Kristin gets a rare afternoon off and wanders around the school. Bruce Patman is playing tennis, and he uses this as an excuse to start hitting on Kristin. Kristin is flattered because she doesn't know that Bruce hits on every girl in Sweet Valley High. He probably even hits on the teachers. Kristin goes for a ride with Bruce, and she goes to the movies with him. She's so excited she doesn't get to sleep until 1 a.m. Yeah, she stays awake in bed for 3 hours thinking about Bruce. It's supposed to be cute that she's got her first crush, but I'm a little worried for her. Kristin, honey, Bruce is not worth it. Elizabeth interviews Kristin for the school newspaper. Emily is an adorable little sister to Kristin, and Dad gets kind of annoyed that Bruce is calling all the time. The big tournament is coming up. She can't cancel practices to go out with Mr. Ego. Kristin knows Dad is right, but she still doesn't like being told what to do. So she decides to run off with Bruce and go on a 3-hour date. That will teach Dad for being a good parent. Jessica and her friends talk about the girls that they have in the Little Sister program, and I'm a little surprised because we're over halfway through this book and we're just now starting this subplot. Well, Jessica tries to compete with Elizabeth for the role of Best Big Sister. She fails because her idea of a good time with kids is forcing them to get you stuff while you're shopping. Kristin wins the first 2 rounds of the tournament, although she does badly. Her dad and coach are unhappy with her weak performance and lack of willpower. She snaps at them for not supporting her, and she decides to show her independence by going to a party with Bruce. The night before her final match! Only the party is a bummer. Bruce ignores her so he can hit on other girls, and he doesn't even notice when Kristin leaves early. Again, Kristin stays up past midnight thinking about Bruce and the party, so she's a wreck at the tournament. She plays badly in her games and loses the tiebreaker round to Sharon. Now Sharon is the pro, and Kristin is the lowly alternate who will have to try again next year. Everyone's sad now, and Kristin thinks her dad doesn't love her anymore. Emily tries out for tennis camp, but fails, and she's worried that Kristin doesn't love her anymore. Kristin sees the obvious parallel here, and she realizes her dad and coach loved her the entire time. She just mistook their support for pressure. But love is not the same as success. A true champion knows how to win and lose. Life lessons, life lessons. Kristin has a big heart-to-heart talk with Dad, and what do you know? Sharon drops out of the team when her ankle breaks. Kristin takes her place and does so fantastically well she gets a permanent spot. So she's on the team after all! Hooray! Oh, and she tells Bruce off multiple times. He deserved it. The end. Post-book follow-up. The story in this book was pretty standard. It's basically the same as The Girl Who Wanted to Be a Dancer, only with tennis. As soon as we learn that Kristin's dad is pressuring her to win, we know she's gonna learn that he loves her no matter what. The series is predictable in general, but this book was extra predictable. Karen's first chapter was good and drew me into the story, but the book failed to keep that momentum going as she morphed into a generic girl who's busy all the time. The drama with her father wasn't interesting because you could see she was purposely misinterpreting everything he said and did just so there could be drama. I thought it was realistic how she and her father struggled over Bruce, but it wasn't engaging. Emily was the best part of the book, as she was adorable. The other little sisters were not interesting, and that subplot is so short and irrelevant, I wonder why they kept it in. Get rid of Jessica and Elizabeth's cookie-making contest and give us more of Emily! If Emily was expanded into a full-blown subplot, that definitely would raise this book a few points higher. But no, she ends up being a heavy-handed parallel story device, so our heroine can learn a lesson at the end. Overall, the book comes across as standard, with a hint of author is tired of telling the same story over and over again. I'm not quite sure how I'd fixed it, besides give us more of Emily and tweak Kristin's personality. I give Sweet Valley High, number 53, Second Chances, a 4 out of 10.